Well, hey everybody, I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to As Above, So Below, a rune and tarot divination for Monday, the 3rd day of July, 2023. Well, tomorrow, at least in this country, is the 4th of July, and so I don't know. My neighbor was talking to my husband yesterday, or a couple days ago, I guess, Saturday, and he's worried about his horses because there's people in our area here that shoot off fireworks, and he's like, God, do you think they're going to do that again? He's in his 80s, and he doesn't, his horses don't tolerate this well, and so I think he says he's going to take them over to his son-in-law's place and see if maybe he can keep them over there. I mean they'll let him do that, obviously, but maybe it's quieter over there, but his horses just can't take it. We had a dog that actually broke our front door. He broke our door to open it, and to get out when I think he heard, I don't know if he heard gunfire or if it was during the 4th of July time, because usually you'll hear it surrounding the 4th as well. For probably 4 or 5 days you'll see this, and people shooting off bottle rockets and big things too, like you see in fireworks displays, and it would just destroy him. And finally, we had to get medicine for him because it was that bad. Now I guess you can get those things you can put on them, blanket thingies. I don't know what they are. I think they tighten around them and they make them feel secure, and I guess that helps too. But we don't have any more dogs or cats, so we just have chickens. And we woke up this morning, excuse me, to a very, very large raccoon. I mean, a big one, biggest one my husband's ever seen. And it was in the rooster house, and we have 2 roosters in there. And Rudy, the Rhode Island Red, is always the one that gets attacked. George is a little bit bigger, and I don't know if it's just coincidence that it's Rudy, but they've gone after him now. They destroyed most of his comb, and some of it's grown back the last time, and we thought we'd lose him then. And I don't know yet today. Jerry, my husband, says he's seen him standing inside his house, but he won't. There's no way he'll come out today. He may not even come out tomorrow. He'll just stay in there and rest and hopefully survive. But we're not going to know for a while how hurt he is. But he was pretty injured the last time, and I was really surprised that he was still alive. And so fingers crossed for Rudy. Think good thoughts. He's so cool. I mean, I don't know. I like the roosters. They're fun. We let them run about sometimes, and they're just very, they're attached to both of us, so it's awful. I know they're chickens, but still, I'm a chicken mom, and it's just the way it is. So anyway, so I've started this a couple of times, and my head goes crazy, so I don't know. We'll see how we get through this today. But let's go ahead, and I'm just going to keep what I have. And I started over once, but I'm just going to keep this one, and I just started talking about it, and we'll see how we go with this one. We start out with the significator runes from the Elder Futhark on the above side with Nathis. One of the Norn runes. There's 3 in the Elder Futhark: Hagalaz, Isa, and Nathis. Nathis is about the future, Hagalaz the past, and Isa is about the present moment, or the static realm. But Nathis is essentially the friction within to manifest something. It's overcoming restriction. It can also be about binding. You can use it in a binding spell to bind someone to the effect of their behavior, for example. I'm not someone who does curses, and so I will do that, though. If somebody's out of control, and doing things that are harmful, then I might try a binding spell on them, and see what happens. Maybe they'll settle down. Maybe they'll understand, what, this is nuts. I shouldn't be behaving this way. And that's really all you really seek to do anyway, is to elevate that perception into higher awareness so they can understand the bigger picture of what they're doing and what cause and effect and all of that is as a result of it, and to maybe take some responsibility for what they do. But all that energy is really all about Nathis, trying to control yourself in a way that gets you to be able to manifest in a positive way. And in this case, with the Geomancy rune for the below side of things, we have Pur again today. We had Pur on Thursday, and it's scattered little boy energy that is it's really reflective of a lack of impulse control. And so together, I think the runes today to start us out with, I think it's for you to manifest something positive, for you to overcome the challenges within. It takes focus, it takes concentration, it takes the expression of will, but from a higher perspective, from higher awareness, from a soul level awareness, and to then control the impulses within so that you can manifest something positive in your life. So we begin, though, with the cards. We have the Hierophant, the Knight of Swords, and the Eight of Wands. And I when I decided I probably better start over, I wanted to keep the cards because I think that they align extremely well with both of the runes. So I think I don't think we have to try to reset the table or anything with the runes or anything like that and come up with a different type of a significator or a different type of focus. I think we can leave it just as it is. But we start out again with Nathis aligns with the Hierophant. And here the Hierophant is actually about divine wisdom, mercy, idealism, but spiritual mastery, hidden knowledge. You've got knowledge and tradition down here reflected by the keys. But here you have the Pope sitting on a throne. He's holding two fingers up, and he's got a scepter of some kind. I don't know. I'm not Catholic, so I don't know. This could actually be called something, have a specific name for it, but I don't know what it is. So I just call it a scepter. So apologies if that's not, if you're Catholic and you're watching this and you know what it is, you could leave it in the comments so I know and I can call it that the next time. But I don't know what because there's got to be some other name than scepter. But he's got 3 levels to his crown. So there's another example of 3s there. You see 3 crosses here on this white raiment, this little drape thing. I don't know what it is. Again, I'm not Catholic, so I don't know. But you have a similar type of thing going on here on the monks that are down below him, or whatever they're called. I'm not sure monks is the right word, but maybe it is. But he also sits between 2 pillars, similar to the high priestess, sits between the pillars of Solomon. And you could look at these in the same way, I suppose, where it's really about balance. 5, though, is about protection. It's about freedom versus restriction. It reflects the pentagram. So all elements plus spirit. Innovation, variety. Did I already say that? I don't know. I know I said it in the last one, but I don't know about this one. It's like it all runs together in my head. But anyway, essentially you're talking about spiritual mastery, and I think that you're talking about the same thing with Nathis, where you're having to let go of the ego's influence and focus in from a higher perspective. You've got knowledge, tradition, and structure, essentially, with the Hierophant. And so what he's basically, as he's pointing the 2 fingers to heaven, he's basically saying, look, all of the knowledge comes from spirit. The true knowledge that we have comes from spirit and comes from the collective consciousness. Although probably the Pope might not say it that way, but that's how I say it. Anyway, but maybe he would. I don't know. He's pretty progressive, so I don't know. Maybe he would. But I think that essentially, you've got the idealistic nature of it, the spiritual mastery. In order to do that, though, again, we have to control our behavior. Here we have, let's see. Here we have the Knight of Swords. Now, swift action is here. It's also here. Okay, and anytime you have swift action, you have the risk of judgment. And if you judge something inappropriately, then maybe it costs you a little time in whatever it is you're doing, because then finally got to get back to the real truth of the matter. You've judged it wrongly, and now you've got to find out what the real truth is. But with the Knight of Swords, you're looking at somebody who's a soldier. He's battle hardy. He's cutting through illusion or deception here with his sword. They're riding very quickly. It's almost like if you say he's cutting through deception, it's literally it's like he's cutting apart these clouds right here. And since they're grayish and they're not white, then there's something that's being held back there. There's some darkness that's going on there. Like the fool, like the queen, he probably doesn't suffer fools well. He's assertive. He's courageous. He has integrity. He accepts challenges. But he needs to do this in full clarity. And that's what he's doing. You can see the trees blowing in this direction, and he's riding against the wind, essentially. But he's cutting through all of the deception and all of the illusion and all of the challenges that he might be facing in terms of achieving the mastery that we talk about here in the Hierophant, and also the mastery that's inherent in Nathis. So he's letting go. He's cutting through all of the lack of impulse control, the judgment. The swords is about the intellect. It's the air element, and so reason, balance, justice. And if you align the 7 with it, which is not on this card, but if you did, then you could add magic to that. But it's about observation. It's about it, but it's also about integrity and being able to be honest and express your wisdom in a way that actually serves other people. And that's the thing about knights. They're there to be in service to others, really, or in service at least to the king, or to the kingdom, the area of the kingdom that's designated for under their protection. Maybe you could look at them that way too, because a lot's coming in on you today. Again, the number 8 is also associated with mastery. It's associated with harmony, material recognition and approval, leadership. But basically, you have a lot coming in on you with the wands, with the staffs being thrown, the spears being thrown. Looks more like a staff to me. I taught martial arts for a while, and with my husband we had a school, and so these are staffs to me, but other people might call them spears. It's just a spear should have a tip on the end, you know. But I don't know. So I just call them staffs. But generally speaking, in the suit of wands, that's how it's going to be represented. You will see other decks that will show them as actual wands, but not always. In the Rider-Waite, it's like this. And here you have a lot coming in on you. It's swift action. You might have to make decisions quickly. You might have to act quickly. You might have to move now and make that decision you need to make. Manifest what you want to manifest right now. The problem is, if you don't have all of the information that you need to do that, that may be a little bit difficult to do. And so again, if you're going to be moving now and moving quickly to do something, to manifest something, to make something happen, because wands is the fire element, and it's about the spark of life, it's motivation, it's new opportunities, it's creativity, it's manifestation, it's the will. And so again, that also aligns very well with Nathis. But overall, you have, let's see, let me look at the numerology to see if we have something here too. 5 and 8 is 13, that reduces to 4, and so 4 is going to be structure and foundation, and you have to make sure that what you're doing, you have all of the facts, I think, before you go and you manifest something. If you decide a new opportunity comes your way today or something, and you're looking at it, it's not necessarily something that you want to jump in on, but at the same time, once you have all the facts, then maybe it is time to go ahead and move forward on it. that would be something to consider. But again, you have to control the impulses and make sure that you don't just simply, something just doesn't look great and you go, oh yes, let's go do it. I don't think that that's what the 8 is actually saying. If you're looking at this in terms of mastery, you've mastered the information about it, you've mastered the understanding about it, and now once you've cut through all the deception and you know exactly what this is, through that higher awareness, and not allowing the ego to come in and in the form of poor today, to not allow that ego to come in and make you act before, maybe act in haste, essentially act before you truly understand what the situation is. And I think the Knight is telling us that there's something about this that you need to be clear on, and you need to be very specific and very focused on achieving that awareness and that understanding and that mastery in a sense. And then once you have that, then you can move. Then you can rise to the occasion and move forward in the direction you need to move. But I look at this and it's like, get out of the way. A lot's coming in, and we don't know for sure. I mean, maybe we could have put it in the center and then cut through any deception that was coming about here, if you want to see this card that way. But I think it's fine to leave it alone. I think that again, we can read it that way once you understand the full nature of what's going to happen here today, or the new opportunity that's coming your way, or something that it is that you want to do, you want to manifest. You just have to make sure that you understand the situation before you can then, because there could be a lot coming in on you that you need to get out of the way of, things that aren't necessary to be part of it. And so understand all of that, to understand what are going to be the challenges, what are going to be the pitfalls to doing whatever it is you want to do today. This new opportunity that's either you see or something that you wish to manifest yourself. And again, I think, with the 4, there's a sense of stopping. There's a sense of respite. You look at the 4 of Swords, that's respite. And I think that with the 4, you have to take time to understand the whole picture and how it's going to affect you in your life, how it's going to affect your physical reality. Is it going to provide foundation and structure for what you're going to do? So that's another aspect of this today. Will it strengthen what you're going to do? And that's also going to align well with the 8, which is also about strength, and in this case inner strength, to be able to be sure to control your impulses enough that to just not jump into something because it sounds good. It's like, oh cool, let's do that. Well, okay, maybe. And that, I think, is the hesitance of the 4, bringing you back a little bit and having you take a closer look at the underlying nature of what this is that you want to do, and not allowing impulse control to get you in a situation that maybe you're unprepared to do, and because you didn't realize. So I think that's it. I don't think we need another card. I think this is just a day where you've got the friction within to manifest something. Something could be coming into play, and you just want to make sure that you know all the facts before jumping into it. So, well, hopefully my phone will be working fully here by this afternoon. It's weird when that happens. I mean, it never happens ever. And it's weird because it's got up instead of the bars up in the corner of the phone, it has the SOS. And so I guess you can make an emergency call somehow if you're on Wi-Fi or something, or I don't know. This is new to me, so I'll have to ask one of my sons. They're both essentially in the tech field, so they'll know the answer to that. But I had no idea. So you learn something new every day, don't you? Yeah. Well, thanks for watching. If you have chickens, go love them, and tell them you're there for them. I'm going to go out eventually here, and when I can calm down a little bit and go see if I can see Rudy at all in there to get some kind of assessment as to how he's doing. But at this point, we just don't know. Other than he was standing up, which is a good sign, maybe. But good Lord, I don't know how much that poor guy can take. He's just been attacked so many times. And I don't know why it's him and not the other one. Maybe it's just the luck of the draw, but boy, you would, I mean, if you saw him, you wouldn't want to attack him because you'd think he's going to attack you back. And he will. I know, because, he goes after my husband all the time. It's funny, but it's not. I mean, it's serious business. So my husband has to take a staff in with him. Again, martial artists that we are. He takes a staff in with him and just keeps it there in front and just sort of gently, pushes him back if he needs to when he's, bringing in new water or food or whatever. And Rudy just has to settle down and not try to go after my husband. But I've seen him chase him clear across the yard before when he's been out. And, George doesn't do that. George is huge, though, and you wouldn't want him coming after you either. So life on a small farm. We don't have any other animals now but our chickens. We don't have any more dogs, or we don't have any more cats. And so we decided to get chickens again. We hadn't had them in a very long time. In 2017, we got the chickens. We started that again, and we love them. They're just fun. And we have fish in the pond. So that's it on our animals, other than the ones that live here, that come through and all of that aren't ours. It's all we have. And so we don't want to see anything happen to them until they naturally pass on, because they don't live forever. And that's one thing. That's hard enough. But when something like this happens, it's just, and see, they're right outside our bedroom. And so this woke us up, this attack by this big raccoon. And I mean, it's daylight, right? It was like 6 a.m, daylight. And it's been daylight for an hour. So why this raccoon is out and going after one of our roosters is beyond me. Usually they're nocturnal. So, although we've seen them out in the daytime, but generally you don't. And but trying to figure out where they live on our property, there's just too many places that they hide, and so there's no way that we're going to know that. So unless we see them go there, So anyway, lots of excitement on a Monday. Too much excitement on a Monday, especially when it wakes you up before the alarm does. Anyway, thanks for watching, and have a wonderful 4th if you're celebrating. And come back on Thursday for another edition of As Above, So Below. I'll give a Rudy update so you'll know. Anyway, be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.